All right. We thank you. We thank you for the co-creation of the interaction. We thank you for the allowance of our civilization experiencing yours in this way and the allowance of the transmission at this time. We bid you good day of the Father. We bid you good summer solstice. And we bring you the big picture. Let us begin in the following way. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty together again. But you can. It is not absolutely clear in your history when the idea of Humpty Dumpty became an egg, although originally, in its original form, it was actually a riddle, not so much a story or a rhyme. And in your language, the answer to a riddle is also referred to as an egg. Thus, the transference of the answer to the subject of the riddle, Humpty Dumpty. What does this have to do with the big picture? The egg, as a whole, in falling off the wall, in coming down to a lower vibration, shatters its shell into 1,000 pieces or more. That's all of you. The egg is the Oversoul, whole and complete, and potentially containing all of the shards of the shell that it shattered into. So this will be about allowing you, as a shard of the whole egg, to connect to the other shards in a manner that you can utilize that connection, utilize the awareness of the other shards to allow you more awareness, more conscious connection to the egg as a whole, to the Oversoul level of perception, and use that awareness of that connection to aid and assist you more holistically in your life as you move forward as a shard. The idea in general connects to what we discussed yesterday of your time, in that what you think of yourself as a person, as a personality, is actually not all of who you are, and in essence is a channeled entity. So you are channeling all the time. You're channeling your personality. This is an extension of the Oversoul through the creation of the structure you call the physical mind, as we have said, composed of your beliefs, your emotions, your thought patterns, which sum up to your behaviors. But this is an artificial projection, an artificial construct, a framework through which, from the higher mind and from the Oversoul, you channel through this idea of you as a person, this identification of personality. So you are all wandering around every day on the earth, channeling yourselves into being, projecting yourselves from higher levels into this vibrational focused frequency you call physical reality experience. So, to begin to function in a way that allows you to begin to gather the pieces back together, even while remaining a particular unique piece, the idea is to think of the egg itself, because, as we have said, everything exists all at once, so even while you are acting as a shard, the whole egg still exists. And if you know the whole egg still exists, you can begin to realize that there is always a place in creation where you as a shard fit in that shell of the whole egg, where you're still there, right now, in your place in the shell of the whole egg. The more you can begin to use this symbol in whatever way, shape, or form your imagination desires, it can be what you would consider to be a regular, normal egg. It can be an ostrich egg if you think your oversoul is big. It can be an Easter egg if you think your oversoul is made of many colors. It can be a Fabergé egg if you feel that your oversoul is encrusted with jewels. However you wish to view it doesn't matter. The important point is that you start focusing on the idea that while you are a shard, you are also simultaneously experiencing yourself as the whole egg, because the whole egg exists. And by focusing on the idea that the whole egg exists right now, the idea itself, the focus itself of seeing the whole egg as a permission slip will actually act as a magnetic attractor to begin to connect you to the other shards of that oversoul, and even to other oversouls and other shards. We have reminded you from time to time that while on your planet individually, you may believe you are composed of a population of individuals that number somewhere around 7 billion, this only represents somewhere at any given moment between 300,000 and 500,000 oversouls. So you have many, many shards walking the earth that are actually extensions of the same oversoul, the same egg that you are. A lot of different pieces of the eggshell, the same egg. By allowing yourself to know that there are literally tens of thousands of other extensions from the very same egg that you extend from, and by viewing and holding an idea, an image, a picture, a feeling of that whole egg, of Humpty Dumpty on top of the wall, you can begin to allow yourself to slip into a state of being that allows you to feel, to perceive, to more consciously interact with the other shards. You may begin to pick up on this in a variety of different ways. You may start having visions, feelings, senses, ideas, and inspirations. And while you're having them anyway, you may begin to know, to feel, to be aware of the fact that some of these sensations, inspirations, points of view, perspectives may actually be coming from experiences from other shards. Now, I remind you that some of the shards are not necessarily, in your terms, contemporary with you in time. So we are also referring to shards that you would look at as past lives, future lives, lives that may exist in other civilizations and other dimensions as well, because the oversoul can extend itself that way as well. So the egg is big. The egg has shattered to many different places simultaneously in space and in time. And therefore, the more you allow yourself to focus on the egg, the more you start feeling and using the permission slip rhyme of feeling yourself as the egg on the wall before it shattered, you will begin to start identifying more strongly from the oversoul perspective. Now, at first, sometimes it may be easier for you to absorb this in dreams, in your imagination, playing around with this idea, maybe even going so far as to draw an egg, maybe even going so far as to hold a real egg. Allow yourself to really contemplate and ponder the idea of this cosmic egg, the wholeness of its being that you are an extension of, that you are a part of, that you are a shard of. And the more you focus from that point of view, the more you think of yourself in a holistic way as the egg itself, without denying the shard, without ignoring the shard, without letting go of that idea, you will start to see from the oversoul point of view more facets, more shards, more dimensions, more perspectives of the total being that you really are. And within that, this includes perspectives of the higher mind. It includes perspectives of the soul, the individuated soul, and also the perspective of the oversoul, which by its very definition experiences all the shards simultaneously. Now, you may not necessarily always achieve the simultaneity of vision of the oversoul in its complete form, but you can access it more and more and more in whatever way is relevant for any particular moment in your life where you actually need to see from that perspective, where it is important for you to see and experience your reality from that perspective. The more you do this, the more you focus on the egg energy, the whole egg, being whole, the more the idea of physical reality will seem to be a little bit more transparent, a little bit more of an illusion, a little bit more of a fabrication, a little bit more of a projection through your channeled consciousness as a physical being, the more you will realize that it is a continuation, an extension of you channeling your personality. It will be like you think of yourself as the prism through which the white light comes and diversifies into the beautiful colored spectrum. But you will understand that that spectrum is your physical reality. It's projecting through you as you create this channeled entity you call your persona. The more you see yourself from the egg point of view, the holistic point of view, the more this will happen. So these will be the natural symptoms of beginning to see yourself and relate to yourself as the egg, the cosmic egg, the oversoul egg, in whatever way, shape, or form your imagination so desires. So, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. This just means, again, that the oversoul has projected itself down into the frequency where it can experience itself as a collection of perspectives, a collection of shards of the shell, as we say. And thus, the idea of the fall doesn't have to be seen or viewed or experienced in any negative way, but simply the idea of having two different reflections, the yin and the yang, the idea of the wholeness and the idea of the all, the idea of the one and the all being the same, but simply being different perspectives. Now, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. This is simply a relation to the idea of the process itself that you've been going through of feeling disconnected, feeling lost, feeling that you are not necessarily connected to something greater, feeling like a small, diminutive, little being wandering through a large reality. But you are arriving now at the place where you can gather the shards back together in a way that gives you a practical experience of the wholeness, because it's not the king's horses and it's not the king's men that actually need to put the shards back together. It's the king. And as you become the kings and queens of your own reality, as you know that you are the sovereign of the experience you call your physical world, then you know you have the wherewithal, you have the vision, you have the perspective as the king and queen simultaneously to see how the shards fit back together, to put all those puzzle pieces in touch with one another, and to begin to see from that higher perspective of the egg on the wall to begin with. Does this make sense? So you are all Humpty Dumptys. Every single one of you. Begin to think of yourselves that way. Begin to think of yourselves and see yourselves as the primal egg, as the holistic egg, as a whole system. Because even though you may, in a sense, create the illusion of being shattered into shards, you are still connected. This is an illusion. You are still a whole system. And you are a whole system of whole systems as well, if you want to take this idea of the egg higher and higher and higher to larger and larger and larger versions of the egg, all the way up to the all that is version of the egg. You can go as high with this as you wish, but you can use as a permission slip this idea of the cosmic egg, of the egg itself, to allow you to begin to get familiarity with being on top of the wall, seeing from the higher mind perspective, the soul perspective, the oversoul perspective, rather than only the perspective of being down at the base of the wall in pieces. This will give you a fuller spectrum of experience in your reality, because when you come upon, by doing this, by integrating yourself through this idea, when you come upon any given circumstance and any given situation, what you will also be developing is flexibility in the levels of your consciousness, in the levels from which you can perceive the circumstance and the situations that arise. So when certain things happen, you will then begin to automatically shift to the appropriate level of perception required for you to extract a beneficial and positive experience from that circumstance. You'll become much more slippery up and down the scale of the levels of your consciousness, and won't only just be limited to seeing things from the physical mind point of view, but when necessary, you will automatically start jumping to the higher mind, jumping to the soul level, jumping to the oversoul level, and maybe even simultaneously going up and down where you need to create an entire picture, a holistic picture, so you can begin to see interdimensionally what all the things are that are represented by that circumstance and that situation, so you can extract as much from it as you possibly can in the way that you prefer to. But don't be alarmed if you find yourself jumping up and down like that, slipping up and down like that, for that also is one of the symptoms of expanding your consciousness from the holistic egg point of view. Does that make sense? All right. So, does it sound like fun? All right. Does it sound like it would allow you to have what you believe to be more facility with regard to your relationship to different circumstances and events in your life? Then it will. Because knowing that it will is the egg point of view. Because the egg is sitting on top of the wall and it can see farther. So knowing that this will be one of the symptoms, knowing that this will be one of the effects of seeing things from the egg and the oversoul point of view will allow you to begin to relate to this idea and allow you to use this idea with much more facility. It will become not second nature, but first nature to you in time. Because it is your nature. You are a holistic system. It does exist this way all at once, and you can begin to take advantage of it now in this day and age of transformation on your planet where things are beginning to break up and loosen up in terms of the limitations of physical reality. You are now beginning to change the rules of the game as to what physical reality is. You are altering the way that you can play it. You are altering the way that you can experience it. You are stretching beyond the limitations, stretching beyond the boundaries, and stretching beyond the borders that you have been taught were so solid in the past, so immutable, so unchangeable, so intransigent. But now you are gaining more freedom, more flexibility, more malleability to shapeshift and change your perspective of yourself and change who and what you channel your personality to be, because it will become more representative of this ability to slip up and down. You will start seeing and channeling your identity more like the idea of the higher mind, more like the idea of the individuated soul, more like the idea of the oversoul, more like Humpty Dumpty. So as you walk down the street, allow yourself to play with the idea that not only are you walking down the street at the base of the wall, but you are walking along the top of the wall, simultaneously mirroring yourself from a higher point of view, turning left, turning right, no matter which way you wish to go. There is the Humpty Dumpty egg following you along the top of the wall, all the way through the labyrinth of physical reality. It's always there. You can always look up at it. It will always smile down at you. And you can always know that the egg is always there. The egg is always with you. You always are the egg as well as the shard. And that you are now the kings and queens of your own destinies, your own free will, your own physical experience. And you can mix and match and slip up and down and do whatever you need to do within your imaginations that works best for you, remaining in alignment with your truth, your integrity, your passion, your natural vibration, and it will always be there because it always is. And again, as you begin to connect to the other shards and experience more input, more consciously experience the input from their experiences as they are experiencing your experiences, more input from you, you may find that your identity that you channel yourself to be may start becoming a little bit different in the following way. You may start experiencing an ability, an increased ability to empathize and identify with other people. You may start really being capable of seeing things more clearly through their eyes, walking in their shoes, understanding more quickly and telepathically their perspective, and gaining a deeper understanding of each other in a very profound way that will allow the communication between the different shards to function in a more holistic way, ultimately to the point where very little will need to be said at all for you to have a very deep understanding of the people that you meet from the get-go just by looking in each other's eyes. This will be the beginning. This egg permission slip can be one way that allows for the beginning of the true experience of telepathy on your planet in a much stronger, much more profound way, when you all know you are looking at another shard of the same egg you came from. And as you gather yourself together in this way, you may start even in your personality exhibiting the traits of other shards, exhibiting the traits of other people, learning how to be more chameleon-like and allow yourself to be more reflective of the idea so that you can immediately identify with each other, immediately start operating on a similar wavelength and know each other's thoughts and feelings and understand each other's perspectives much, much more rapidly. You will start, in a sense, without losing your identity, you will start melting back into each other, gathering the shards back together, connecting the cracks back together, sealing the cracks back together, and start functioning together as a whole egg while retaining your individual expression of your perspective of the egg, which is what makes you unique. This is how we function on our world, knowing that we are all one, but we are also unique individuals, and that's why we function through synchronicity primarily. This is the driving engine of our reality. This is the driving engine of our society, is that we go with the flow of the synchronicity that is guided by the holistic aspect of our oneness, while at the same time knowing that the synchronicity will allow us the fullest possible expression of our individuality within that wholeness. And this is one of the processes, one of the permission slips, one of the perspectives that can begin to send you in a more rapid and accelerated way down that path, or if you wish, up that path. So allow yourselves to take advantage of the egg, for the egg is here for you. You are Humpty Dumpty, and you now can find yourself back on top of the wall, which is where you exist to begin with anyway. So, the next time you wake up and have breakfast, ponder that egg and see yourself in that golden yolk, and know that the yolk is on you. We thank you for allowing us to share this perspective with you this day, and in return, how may we be of service to you? You may begin your interactions as you so desire.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've got a statement and a few
Yes.
questions.
Yes.
My statement is, the challenge in my life made that I realized that I was my best friend, and when I felt lonely or felt separated from all others, I was asking questions to myself and trying to have some insight.
Yes.
And I realized I was my best friend.
Yes. Exactly.
In our planet, we have a sentence saying that
I am Daniel.
Oh, all right, if you insist.
I'm really excited that I'm talking to a being that's off planet, that's here to embrace us and support us. So
All right, well, we are very excited to be talking to all of you down there.
thank you. My question is, how do we fully let go of fear and embrace self-love?
By discovering how it is that the fear serves you in your belief system. In other words, you don't hold on to a negative belief if you don't believe that it serves you somehow in a positive way, or at least what you believe to be a positive way. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, to protect us, keep us safe.
Yes, because if you have two choices, and you know that this choice might be empirically what you would actually prefer, but you're not choosing it, you're afraid to choose it, what that means is you've attached a belief to that thing that is actually representative of your excitement that somehow makes it seem to be the more dangerous choice. Now, if you didn't attach that belief to it, it would appear to be your excitement and you would act on it. You would choose it. So the question is, well, if I'm afraid to act on what I say is really my excitement, well, what would I have to believe is true about what will happen if I choose it that makes me so afraid of choosing it? And then you will find out what that fear is, what that belief is. You'll identify it, and as soon as you identify it, you'll see it has nothing to do with you. It's something you picked up along the way. It belongs to someone else. You've stolen someone else's belief. You're a belief thief. Drop it. It doesn't belong to you. Let it go. It's not yours. But you have to identify what it is before you can do that, because you can't work with what you don't know. Make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
Anything else?
Well, there's the other part. How do we embrace self-love? How do we fully love ourselves?
Why don't you fully love yourself would be the question we would ask. What's stopping you from doing that? You see, if you find or think even that you have a negative belief preventing you from being yourself, then why not really just explore it from that direction? Amplify, magnify the negative belief. Ask yourself, what is the most horrifying, terrifying thing I can imagine will happen if I fully love myself? What does that mean? What will that mean if I do that? And then when you ask the question that way and you aren't afraid to find out what the fear is, then you will allow yourself to begin truly exploring. What would I have to believe is true in order to stop myself from being who I know I am? What would I have to believe is true? Oh, let's see. If I fully loved myself, I would be this incredible being and I would lose all my friends because they couldn't relate to me anymore. I know it sounds really crazy, but we've actually heard that belief on your planet. Just letting you in on a little secret. Beliefs like that actually exist on your planet. We don't know how they can, but they do. But you get the point. That may or may not be your particular belief, but it acts as an illustration for the kind of beliefs that might prevent you from moving in the direction of your joy, because you've attached a concept of what will happen if you do that is less than pleasant. So when you find out that that belief is attached there, you'll let it go, because it will be nonsensical and illogical to hold on to it once you realize what it is and it has nothing to do with what you prefer. You'll just let it go. And you will start feeling more of the love. You will let more of the love, the unconditional love of creation in. You will start loving yourself enough to do that. And in essence, what you will do is you will stop arguing with creation. Because you see, the only reason, in a sense, that you would feel you can't fully love yourself is that you're actually inventing reasons and telling God, I'm not worthy. And in a sense, it's like you're throwing the gift back in God's face. Now, God doesn't care. But the idea really is that you're actually resisting your natural state. You're saying, you, in unconditional love, of which I'm a part, still somehow made a mistake. I don't belong. Now, while many people on your planet might actually think that that is, in some sense, over-exaggerated humility, it's actually over-exaggerated hubris and arrogance. Because you're saying, out of all of creation that is worthy, I alone am not worthy of unconditional love. I alone stand outside and above and beyond all beings in creation who receive and allow themselves to be fully loved and love themselves. I am unique in that way. I am special. Is this making some sense?
Totally. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, our unconditional love to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Are your stomachs grumbling? Is it time for nutrition? All right, then we will allow you to take your nutrition break and we'll resume this transmission afterwards. Enjoy your break. How's it going? And besides, isn't this cozier?
It is, but sometimes, being with you, it's like being in a circus.
Well, with as much clowning around as you people do, it's no wonder.
So funny. Oh my goodness. So I have some more names to call. First one is Ann Lee. The second one is Apollo Poetry. The third one is Elena St. Martin. And the next one is Fazel or Lazel.
And that will do for the moment.
That's exactly
Yes.
That's exactly how many I picked.
All right.
I'm getting good at this.
Synchronicity abounds.
All right, thank you. Oh, so would anyone whose name was called like to come up? Oh, you're putting someone else on the spot. Bashar,
I know you. Good day.
I love you.
We love you as well.
I've been watching you from afar, and you're just the greatest thing
Is that
to
a
happen.
country on your planet? Welcome to afar.
I have so many questions, I don't even know where to begin. But I would like to know, what do you zero in on when you're connecting with Darryl to channel? What happens on your end of it?
I stand against a wall in my scout ship. I lean back against the wall, and the wall gives way to turn into a supportive reclining system. It puts me into a state of repose vibrationally that thus then keys in and amplifies through the ship's intelligence all the connections that need to be made and all the vibrational linkages that need to occur to allow the channeling to progress.
That
I
sounds
am thus then
complicated.
ensconced in the center of my own higher mind, which is actually a physically representation in the ship itself. Our ships are actually solidified higher minds.
That's fascinating.
It's also fun.
I had a dream where I was with my daughter out in kind of the wilderness by a log, and there was this big, huge, red flying saucer, and I was jumping up and down and so happy because my family was coming or whatever. I was so excited.
Yes.
And I was wondering, is there a significance with the red? Or is that symbolic of something? Or
Everything is symbolic of something. Everything has some significance to you personally, if that's the way you saw it. So the reflections can mean many things. It can be the representation of the idea of the root chakra, connecting the vibration to nature, the earth, Gaia. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Are you linked that way? Are you guided that way? Are you excited that way about nature?
No, I'm probably more related to the stars. I feel more connection to that than the earth.
Then maybe what the saucer was telling you is you need a little more grounding.
I certainly do.
Because remember, it's not about running away or leaving the earth to connect to the stars. It's about bringing heaven down to earth by acting as the ladder, as the link, as the bridge. So you have to be very grounded, firmly grounded, in order to actually reach higher. Just like a tree has to have very strong roots in order to grow very tall. Do you understand the analogy?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes, it does. I was wondering, when we were looking at that pinpoint chart, if we were to be able to utilize that for travel.
Travel in what context?
Like teleportation.
That isn't its primary focus, no.
Is it somewhat like an advanced astrology chart of a person?
In a sense, Although understand again that all such things are simply permission slips that reflect the state of consciousness. So in that sense, looking at the mapping of many different parallel incarnations that exist simultaneously can determine through the quality of the vibrations of all those incarnations what the oversoul is like, and can thus then also help illuminate what some of the individual lives are like based on their relationship from one to the other.
And is that pinpoint chart
It's
coming
a pin
from?
chart. It's a
I'm
pin
sorry.
chart.
Is that coming from an intuitional basis? Where is that information coming from?
The pin charts being created by the 33rd parallel is because they can actually see into parallel realities. So they are the ones that people go to create those charts. People can learn this to some degree, but they simply innately have the ability to see in multiple parallel realities simultaneously. Thus, then, they literally can see what they're charting. You understand?
Fascinating.
They can actually see the connection, see the patterns, see the underlying structure, see the simultaneous lives. For them, it's just an observation. It's not really an intuition per se. It's no more mysterious to them than you looking at a red rose and saying, well, the rose is red. There it is. I'm looking at it. It's an observation. It's not an opinion. It's not an intuition. It's an observation.
They have special vision?
They have that vision. That's their nature. That's why they are cryptics.
Fascinating. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Beloved Bashar,
And a you good day.
you've been so patient with us. and
No, I have
answered-
not.
You've answered
Because
all,
I do not require patience because I'm never impatient.
You've,
I live in the moment.
you've answered all our questions. My question
No,
is...
you have answered all your questions. I have simply reflected back to you what you already knew.
my
But you
que-
allowed yourselves to use me as a permission slip, which I'm happy to do, to help you remember what you already know.
Okay, then my question for you is, what
Your question for yourself is,
What? My question for us
Yes.
is, what question do you wish we would ask you? And what's your response to that?
why not?
Perfect. The two-word meditation.
Right up there with, so what?
And then how would you answer that question?
Why not?
Thank you.
Is this helping you?
Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
It's looking like possibly, there were two other names I called, Apollo Poetry, and, go ahead. Yes, if your name was called, please feel comfortable to come up and sit in the seat next to the question.
My name's Apollo.
All right, good day.
The first question is kind of a fun one.
Kind of?
If our souls can exist in multiple bodies, multiple dimensions, and multiple time frames,
Your
right?
oversoul, not your individual soul.
So from that perspective, are our souls all technically in polyamory relationships?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And the second question, as you know, I'm making a documentary called The Secret of Destiny, and it explores the difference between destiny and this concept of determinism and free will.
Yes.
So,
Destiny is the theme you chose to explore. Free will is how you explore it. You choose a hallway to go down in your life. You choose a theme of exploration. Go down that hall, you will. That's your destiny. How you go down the hall is up to your physical free will. Run, jump, skip, upside down, backwards, left, right, fly, crawl, happy, sad. But down the hall you go. That's the difference between destiny and free will. And even then, you can understand that from the higher perspective, what you call destiny from the physical perspective is still the free will of the soul, because it's choosing that destiny.
So the free will is decided on the soul level, and our physical bodies are just acting out what's predetermined, and the illusion
The
from...
destiny is decided on the soul level. The free will is acted out on the physical level. How you explore the theme is up to you. But the theme is the destiny.
Thank you.
And that doesn't mean that every aspect of it is predetermined. It simply means the theme is predetermined. It doesn't necessarily mean that the events that unfold are predetermined. A lot is allowed to happen in the sense that it is understood that physical reality contains what you call randomness. But if the randomness fits the theme, it will fall into the slot and be used. Because you're making choices, and the choices create consequences, which are the random events that match the vibration of the choices and the consequences and fall into the slot of the destiny for you to explore. Is this making sense in your language?
It's processing.
Oh, all right. Give it a moment for it to fall into the slot. And?
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Bashar.
Andy, you good day.
I wanted to ask you about my dreams because I've been lately blocking them. Like when I wake up.
Speak up, speak up.
Like when I wake up, I don't remember them. So I want to.
Then how do you know you had them?
Because I know I've dreamed, but I don't remember it,
So,
and I wanted to.
why? Why not live your dreams instead of trying to remember your dreams?
I'm doing it actually.
Well, then maybe there's nothing to remember because you're dreaming right now while you're awake. Many times when people expand their consciousness, they may actually, for a period of time, not remember their dreams because they are actually living them. Therefore, there's no difference between the physical and the non-physical. There's nothing to remember. There's no difference to recognize.
That's awesome.
Make sense?
Yeah.
You see, many times also, what you call a dream is actually your consciousness going up to what we call the template level reality, the blueprint level reality of your physical experience, and arranging what it is you will experience when you wake up into physical focus. So in that sense, it's not like there's really anything to remember except the framework that is now actually being experienced in the physical life as it unfolds that was laid out in the blueprint level.
Okay.
So you can sort of sense you had a dream, but it doesn't really make sense that you remember it because you're actually living what you laid out for yourself. And that's the remembering of the dream.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. I have another question.
Yes.
About my second chakra.
Yes.
It hurts, kind of hurts. I've been having this pain for a long time, and I think I found out what the root of it, right?
Which is? What?
Do I have to say it?
No, you don't have to say anything.
Okay. No, I just want to know, how can I work with my second chakra?
Oh, do I have to say it?
You don't. You don't. Okay.
Do you trust your gut?
What do you mean?
Do you trust your instincts? Hesitation usually means no. Therefore, you can work on that. Trusting your gut hunch, your instinct, will allow you to smooth out that chakra.
Okay. Yeah.
All right?
Okay, yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And